Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity and creator of Bogash Life in Balance. And today we're going to talk about something you need to know but is being suppressed that is incredibly important if you're deciding to get vaccinated, especially with Moderna or Pfizer and the 2 vaccine dosage. And this is one of the problems I have, is that by not sharing information that we know, we are putting people at risk. And there are things that you could definitely do with that if we just admitted that there's a problem. And this has to do with a window of danger after the first vaccination. It's no longer at a point where we can deny that for the first 7 days at least after the first vaccination that people have an increased risk of developing coronavirus. I've seen it in my office. And this particular study out of Denmark actually found that it was a very large, well-done study, preprint, so you can certainly throw that out there. But it looked at healthcare workers and long-term care residents and how their risk of developing COVID played out over certain time frames. So this, trying to decide where to go with this. So the first thing is that it was very clear that in the first 14 days, these people had a negative vaccine efficacy. In other words, they were actually at increased risk of being diagnosed with coronavirus as a result of their first vaccination, not after the second, but after the first. And there is some initial data coming out of Israel that this may be happening to an even greater degree with the initial period after the third booster dose. The two problems with that is that, first of all, if you're not aware, at least here in the United States, we consider vaccinated as people starting, I believe it's 7 days after your second dose. So if you were given the first dose and something happened, you caught coronavirus, or you unfortunately died from coronavirus, from the vaccine, and then died from coronavirus, which happens and makes sense because you're at increased susceptibility for those first 14 days after vaccination, then if something happened, you're considered unvaccinated, even though the vaccine in this particular scenario was the driving reason for whatever happened. That seems disingenuous to me, and even the World Health Organization, the WHO, recommends that we start counting vaccinated as of day 0, the day that they are vaccinated. So we are not following those procedures. It starts to cloud the picture. But the most dangerous thing by not admitting this is, if you are planning on getting your vaccination, you need to know that for the next 2 weeks, your behaviors need to change. That means even more social distancing. That means more adherence to surgical or N95 mask wearing. It means taking better care of yourself, which we should be doing anyway, but definitely by not admitting that this is happening, we are not letting people know that they are in increased danger. How many people have got their first vaccination and then decided to run off and finally see friends and family, not knowing that they were actually at increased risk of catching coronavirus and all the bad things that can happen from that, if we just let them know and admitted that there's a window of danger immediately after vaccination. As always, I will post a link to this particular Denmark study in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.